If you've ever wanted to make Persian rice with that golden, crispy bottom layer called tahdig, this is definitely the recipe you should start with. This recipe comes from someone that you probably already know and love, Samin Nosrat, who is the author of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. She's the star of the Netflix show by the same name, and we are so lucky that we are going to get to call her right now and get to hear more about this recipe and how it differs from other traditional methods and why it is so easy for someone who's never made it before. I'm so excited that you were able to join us today. This would not have been the same at all without you here, so thank you so much.
I'm very excited that I'm being inducted into the Genius Hall of Fame.
It was inevitable. I want to just dive in and hear from you. Where did this recipe come from, and how do you consider it different from other traditional methods? Because, what is the ish?
The ish was insurance. The ish was insurance so that when Persians and Iranian Americans looked at it and didn't see all of the steps, that they wouldn't yell at me for trying to advertise it as super traditional rice. Although I have to say, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. The main differences are, not every, as we said in my show, and I really believe, every Iranian lady has her nonstick pot, like a deep pot from whatever discount store. and until I started cooking and meeting people who were not Iranian and entering their kitchens, I didn't understand that most people don't have one of those at home, but almost everybody has a non-stick pan or a cast iron. So transitioning it from the deep pot to the shallow pan was a big change. Making sure that the rice is uncovered was a big change. I think in this recipe, I cook the rice a little farther in the parboil than I've seen my mom do. The yogurt in the tahdig is definitely insurance to get people to get their crispy rice and get the perfect browning and get it to all stick in one piece, or as much as possible. And while some people in Iran do that, my mom never did. It's not something that I had grown up seeing. So it came from some homework and just looking for a lot of different tahdig variations. So this is sort of my gateway crispy rice, if you will, to get you to a point where maybe then you want to try the deeper pot or different things on the bottom, like potatoes or lavash bread, or actually romaine lettuce is traditional. My mom always used tortillas because we grew up in San Diego. So. Oh yeah?
I love this, and the first time I made it, it came out perfectly, and every time since, it's come out perfectly.
I'm so happy it worked. I mean, that's the other thing is, I have spent my life feeling really intimidated by tahdig, and my mom makes such good rice. My brothers and I fought over the crispy rice pieces our whole childhood. And it's just something that is so meaningful to me. It's a tricky thing to try and match up to my mom's cooking or up to the nostalgia of what a tahdig should be. And I failed a lot of times.
What are your ideal things to eat with tahdig?
My mom would make poached chicken with saffron and onions and lemon, and then we would sort of use that poaching liquid, to sort of moisten our tahdig. And then there was always yogurt on the table. Anything where I can spoon something moist over and let the rice absorb that and then eat it with yogurt, that's really comforting for me.
I'm learning so much about the texture too, because I always was crispy, and it's not just crispy.
One of the cool facts I learned when I was doing research for my book was that we as humans enjoy and derive a lot of pleasure from textural contrasts. I like to have something soggy and soft and creamy alongside my crunchy thing. So it's sort of how much can I take, and then add some crispiness, some creaminess, some sogginess.
I also had one more follow-up question about the rotating of the pan. Is that something that your mom... Yes, so important.
Very important.
Does your mom do that? She does. Okay.
Yes, my mom taught me that. I think if you trust me, it'll come out pretty good. And you know what? If it doesn't, you can blame me. I've done my best to try and create something that will work for most people. And if it doesn't work, just try it again, because practice really will get you there. But I just want everyone to get to enjoy some crispy rice. What better is there?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much for joining us.
And as we say in Iran, Nusha Jun. That's bon appetit.
Thank you.
So.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
So with Samin's extremely precise and helpful instructions, I'm gonna show you all the steps to putting this together. It's all very simple. First things first, this rice has been rinsed and swished vigorously with water 5 times until the water is much more clear, and then soaked in water for half an hour. It's kind of like a gentler introduction to cooking. It helps it get started before it dumps into this boiling water. So this is truly how much salt you need to use. It's a ½ cup of kosher salt for 4 quarts of water. Don't worry, most of the salt is gonna be left behind in the water, but as Samin says, this is really your only chance to season the rice that's gonna be in the middle of the dish, and it's only gonna be in there for a few minutes, so it doesn't have that much of a chance to take on that salt, so you really need to attack it with as much salt as you can. Soaked rice is going in, it's only gonna take 5 to 7 minutes. It should be very al dente. So this part is one of the things that Samin says is insurance for getting a tahdig layer that comes out in one piece, that her mom doesn't do, but she's seen other people do, and it definitely ensures success for people who are doing it for the first time. You take a heaping cupful of your cooked, cooled rice, add it into about 3 tablespoons of yogurt, and just stir that up. The yogurt helps the rice fuse together on the bottom of the pot so that when you turn it out, it will come out in one piece, more likely than if you just did the rice on the bottom. Oh, it helps it brown, it helps it be very golden. It also gives a really lovely, kind of almost imperceptible, extra tangy flavor in there, which I really like. Samin starts this in about 3 tablespoons of butter and oil, and all of that is going to be crisping up the rice with the yogurt and adding its own flavor too. That's why she's got the butter in there with the oil. And it's a great cue that as soon as the butter's melted, you know it's time to go. Okay, time to add the rest of the rice. And Samin says to have it mounding gently towards the center. By putting 6 holes in here, it's gonna allow the steam to escape so that the bottom can get really crispy. Otherwise, if you forget to do the holes like I have done before, it will still crisp, but it'll be a lot soggier. One more in the middle. So, we've got our yogurty rice layer, we've got our mounded non-yogurty rice, we've got our holes, and what Samin says we should be looking for is that the oil is bubbling at the sides. So we'll be watching those sides for changes. That's how we're gonna see that it's getting golden, and we can tell that it's moving along nicely and not going too fast and burning. But every 3 to 4 minutes here, you're going to give it a quarter turn, like that. So easy, because kind of no matter what, your stove will be a little bit uneven, no matter what kind of stove you have. So this is just gonna help make sure that you don't end up with one really dark patch and the rest is pale. This is gonna help it cook evenly. So you do this for like 15, 20 minutes until the sides turn a darker gold, and then we'll turn the heat down lower and keep doing it. Time for the big reveal. First, it's good to check the edges. Just make sure, especially if you're not using a nonstick pan, if you're using a cast iron, take an offset or like a little table knife or something and just run it around. Make sure that it's looking loose and ready to release. And any parts that are sticking, you can kind of jostle free. You want a flat plate. Then get a good grip. Hold your breath and flip. Heard it. Looks pretty good. What do you think? Huh? So I got lucky. Our stove here is pretty even. All of the stars aligned, and I would say it came out pretty perfectly as far as I can tell. But if it doesn't, do not stress about it. If it's uneven, if pieces break off, just break it up and serve it just like you meant to do that. Just like Samin says. But this is maybe the best part when you get to break in. I don't have any of the saucy things that Samin was talking about. I'm going to get the purist's experience here, the super crunchy version with the fluffy rice inside. It's so crispy. Can you hear me crunching? Can you actually hear me crunching? This is so, so good. And it is perfectly seasoned, just like Samin said. It's salted nicely all the way through. It tastes like rich, like butter and yogurt, and those layers are clearly baked into it. But you can still also taste the flavor of the rice. It's so perfect, and I never would have thought that I could do this myself. So thank you so much, Samin. And I hope that you will all go make it too. For more genius recipes like this that will make you feel like a superhero every single week, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, but also pick up a copy of Samin's book, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, if you don't have it already, and watch all of her episodes of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat on Netflix too. And just trust her, follow everything she says. She is a total genius and role model and icon, and you will never go wrong if you just trust what she says. I'll see you next week.